Ebro in the mornings, the show. That is Laura Styles. That is Rosenberg. And introduce the young man to the people.
I brought a friend. All right, as they would say in the WWE, a second generation superstar. Hey. All right, incredible DJ. He's the official tour DJ for ASAP Ferg. Yes, he's out here doing mad things, and he happens to be the son of Jam Master Jay, TJ Mizell.
There you go. Give it up, ladies and gentlemen.
What's good?
Now, TJ, how many radio interviews have you done? Are you big in this radio interview game?
Nah, bro. Honestly, I did. The first one I did was in Radford, like Rutgers University, like 3 years ago. The second one I did was like 30 minutes ago.
And now this.
And now this one. Yeah.
Boom. You're out here. But I have seen you rock some stages before.
For sure. No, definitely. I performed with Run DMC. They've been back on the road for the past like 4 years. So I've been performing with them. I'm DJing with ASAP Ferg as his tour DJ and just doing gigs on my own as well.
You nice cutting up that Bob James?
Definitely, yo. I love funk music. I love everything, bro. And you can catch me on YouTube too, doing some weird shit, gorilla style.
He's done a lot of cool. Yeah, where did that come from? The inspiration for these Subway videos? He'll bring turntables on the Subway and get
busy. Fucking crazy ass manager Clayton Barmore. He was like, "Yo, you should bring your turntables out in the street and like kind of work with a generator and do a routine." So we did that shit and it went viral. And the second time we did it, we brought them onto the turntables and used my car battery. Drove my car down to fucking Delancey Street. Like, took the car battery out of the car with the turntables,
dope,
bought the shit onto the train, and did a routine, and people were like, what the fuck?
Did the turntables wobble?
They did wobble. Yo,
did they fall down?
They did not fall down, though. They did not fall down,
That's all that matters.
Well done, sir.
Well done.
So now you got a big charity thing, and which is amazing because you've been very active in keeping your father's name alive, not only because you're a junior, but also in a positive way. Talk about it.
Exactly, definitely. So about a year after my father passed, my mom started the Jam Master Jay Foundation for Music, and our goal is to raise money for inner city schools in the tri-state area as well, for music programs and instruments. And even my homies, like I have nothing but DJ homies, and like we'll go to the school, especially Andrew Jackson school my dad went to in Queens, and there'll be like an auditorium of 200 kids. We'll like play all their favorite music with our turntables and have them come up one by one and get that experience of DJing and touching turntables.
That's so dope.
Yeah, because I mean, like one of my homies was like, "Yo, I lived on an Indian reservation, and these people brought turntables to our class when I was in 3rd grade. That shit changed my life, you know?"
Wow.
He said that. I was like, "Damn, we should be doing that shit every day."
And you know what, too? A lot of the music programs in a lot of schools are the first things
clipped.
to go.
Exactly.
First things to get clipped, so it's super important.
Did talk to us about your father and your relationship with him, right? I'm sure you've had to have this discussion. I'm not trying to get too emotional, but
of course,
for us hip hop fans, you know, JMJ represents that first like superstar DJ, right?
Exactly.
Like, and you know, even how nice he was as a human, people he put in the game, whether it was Onyx, 50 Cent, like people from Queens that he actually put his arm around, was like, nah, this is how you make music and this is how you move through the industry. But your relationship with him did he force DJing on you, or was that something that?
Not at all, man. That was Pops, honestly. And like people always think like, yo, like you're DJing, your Pops probably taught you how to DJ, and that's not true. He actually never had turntables in the crib ever. Like I remember turntables being in the garage once set up. And that's because Run DMC was going back on tour. It was after Crown Royal dropped. Run DMC was going back on tour. He was like running around the house, like getting his vocal cords already and shit, but he was DJing. That was the first time I ever saw turntables at the crib. He brought us to the Scratch DJ Academy though to learn how to DJ and kind of take those classes, but it was never that serious. Always had us in music though, had me playing drums, super young, violin in kindergarten, you know, drums all my life.
So he made sure that you understood that music before the DJ was.
Exactly. Never pushed DJing. I didn't start DJing until college.
Why? Did you ever ask why there weren't turntables around?
Never asked. I just assumed like that's what
that was his
does.
Work life.
That's his work life. He kept that very separate from the family.
See, the thing is, I want to say like that's very surprising because generally DJs, but at the same time, there aren't too many people who have the same DJ experience that Jam Master Jay had. You know what I'm saying? Where it was your profession.
Yeah.
I'm talking about for a long time. Yeah. And then you were big for a long time. Like I haven't gotten to that stage of life yet. So maybe there's a point, and I'm never going to achieve that either. So maybe you get to a point where you think like, you know what, I'm leaving my turntables to the studio.
Well, and also for somebody like JMJ, you know, I don't want to get into money talk too much in your private business, but they made a significant amount of money in the 80s.
Yeah.
Right.
So he had probably a place to go rehearse. When it was time to go DJ, when it was time to go do that, he probably went somewhere.
Studio. He was in the studio all the time. Yeah.
Right, right. So he just left his setup at his studio.
Exactly. And left work at work, and that way when he was at home, which is probably why you came out such an amazing kid.
Yeah.
Thank you.
By the way, he is an amazing kid. I met him a couple years ago. Was that it? It wasn't a Peter Palooza. It was some random show at Best Buy that I met you. I can't remember which one it was.
Yeah.
But I met him, and you were always just such a humble kid.
Thank you.
And so I think he's got a great thing because number one, he's the son of Jam Master Jay. So if you're a true DJ and you meet him, you like inherently, I'm going to start out with, you got +5 points at least. Starting out, like I'm gonna look out and see.
But it could be deducted if you wasn't nice on the turntable.
Not nice as a person, or not appreciative of your father's legacy. Like he's so appreciative of everything. And the interesting thing though, the one thing I'm trying to pull this guy more hip hop. This guy, you really DJ all kinds of music.
All types.
What would you say is your focal point musically as a DJ? Be honest.
Be honest, bro. I love electronic music, man. Electronic dance music, future bass, like future R&B, like all that shit is like what really moves me. Like, I grew up as that kid, like listening to rock and roll music. I listened to hardcore. I played drums in a hardcore band, you know. And the way electronic music works is it's structured very similarly to electronic music and rock and roll. So I'm just growing up and doing that. I went to Warped Tours as a kid, every Warped Tour, you know, like I was always at festivals. So being that the kid in the crowd and like watching that DJ on stage kill shit, and now being able to be that DJ and watching like kids like freak out over that shit is crazy, bro. I love that.
So as a DJ, do you are there any elements of the stuff that you're into? Because you know your dad and Run DMC was and Rick Rubin used rock and roll in their early sounds, their early music they made, right? Yep. Is any of that in your fabric? Was that in your fabric from then? Do you see why they used it? Like,
no, 100%. My dad was a drummer and a bass guitarist, you know, so he loved actual instrumentation. Like he loved playing music, playing drums, and I feel like he was also down to kind of change music and experiment with like rock and roll and rap, and that's kind of what I like to do as well. My sets are literally all over the map. Like I'll be dropping Keith Ape, and then I'll drop like a Loud Pack or Carnage track like right after, you know.
And so, will you drop anything that I even know what you're talking about?
Do you produce also?
Oh yeah, I actually just started producing. Yeah, I've been making some music. Got lost in Ableton for a few months and haven't turned back since. So I'll be putting out some music.
Everybody's talking that Ableton talk.
Yeah. More electronic music. Is that what you're going for?
Electronic music, yeah, for sure.
That's tight.
But a lot of cats is now rhyming over electronic. So is it electronic or is it hip hop to y'all? How do y'all look at it?
That's a very great question, bro.
It's his favorite question. He brings it up every day. So I'm glad you like it. Come back tomorrow. I'll ask you again.
Well, and I'll jump ahead. Hip hop to me was so many different music forms shoved into one kind of idea and culture.
Yeah, I agree. Honestly, I think that's gonna be a dope way to look at shit. Like I feel like hip hop is gonna be something that the artist can bring to it, like the lyricist, and I feel like dance music is something that the producer can bring to it, and that's kind of like what Run DMC did. You know, they had the rock and roll and the hip hop. So
yeah, like what is hip hop exactly? Hip hop is all of these things.
Like what would you call Walk This Way? Would you call that a rock track or a hip hop track?
Right,
like,
and there are a lot of records
or the
like
Beastie
that.
Boys album, King of Rock.
Exactly. Yeah.
So tonight you have this event. Where is the event?
The event is at Hudson Terrace. It's from 7 to 11 p.m. and we're about to get crazy.
Who's hosting this event?
I am actually. My brother and I are going to be hosting it with Angie Corley as well.
Wait, you're Jam Master Jay's son. You got to host your own event. You couldn't line up some celebs. You ain't got like, you know what I mean?
By the way, you know who
never asked us.
You know who hosts quite a bit.
To do it.
Yeah,
than him. Why?
See, not that. Honestly, to keep it real, because he came out for the birthday party. He showed love. We weren't going to be like, yo, can you do this too? You know, so
it's JMJ.
You could have done it though. And he would have said yes.
Listen,
I mean, look,
is it too late?
Wait, step to the mic, my G. You over there co-signing in the back.
Is it too late?
I didn't have Ebro's email, so I couldn't get to Ebro.
I would have passed
what
it off.
about Rosenberg?
Yeah, you didn't even ask me. I mean, hold on. So you're going to hold this down, Dolo? Not Dolo. You have a team.
Not Dolo.
How do you feel? Are you prepared for this? For the host?
So prepared, bro. So prepared. It's going to be a good time.
This is serious. It's your dad's foundation.
Yep.
And so it's going to be a nice, serious event.
Yeah.
You're usually behind the turntables.
Usually behind the turntables. I'm never even on the mic that much ever, really. I'm not a big mic guy, but it's going to be a good, like, we have so much shit going on. There's so much to talk about. There's so much that we put behind this, like,
but don't overtalk. Don't overtalk as the host. You got to get your cheap. You get out there. You grab that mic. You make people happy.
Yeah.
You make them get blah, 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 and you move on to the next thing.
On to the next.
Trust them.
The host is just the glue, my G. You're just the glue in between, the transition from moment to moment.
And you just have to be charming. I mean,
some jokes.
Yeah, that's it. You're
smile.
He's gonna be fine, guys. I feel like you're making him nervous.
Good.
Hold it. No pressure.
Questioning yourself, like, geez, you'll be fine.
Yo, can we take time out though? And this has to be addressed. If you don't know, Jam Master Jay had an amazing smile. Like it lit up a room. He smiled. What's y'all dental plan in your family? Look at his teeth, my G.
Yo, that was your super hetero way of saying, young man, you have a nice smile.
You have an amazing set of teeth.
Yo, thank you. I appreciate that. It's definitely
you had braces or something?
Mom and dad, nah, never had braces. They literally mom.
Yo, you looking at this kid?
I mean, you have decent teeth. Why do you got teeth envy?
I'm just look at him.
It's kind of random.
Yo, his name is TJ Mizell. We just call him T. What is your DJ name?
TJ Mizell.
Is it TJ Mizell?
TJ, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all TJ Mizell.
It's not TMJ. No, that wouldn't work.
Nah. People are always like, "Oh, TJ the DJ." That shit.
TJ the DJ.
No. You're going with TJ Mizell. I like that.
TJ Mizell's respected.
And Clay, I want you to start adding this to the repertoire when you tell people about this young man and yourself. Second generation superstar. You know what I'm saying?
You going with that?
I'm down.
That's pretty hot. Last thing I knew you were doing was you were on the road DJing for the great ASAP Ferg.
Yes,
we're going with great for ASAP Ferg.
The great ASAP.
The great.
Yo,
I like Ferg.
I love young Ferg. Okay, I'm a fan.
Fergie the Great is where we're going.
Fergie the Great. Are you and Ferg hitting the road again? How'd that go?
Yeah, man, we're actually hitting the road tomorrow morning, heading out to Australia for 3 weeks. This is our second time out there. We went last year. That shit was turned as hell. But yeah, it's fun. It's cool. The way it came out was crazy, or the way it came about was crazy. Doing those guerrilla style videos. It was an ASAP routine that I did. They saw that. They were like, "Yo, that's crazy." We teach other parties. Nothing Was the Same show came around. Drake brought them out for the show. We saw each other backstage, and Ferg was like, "Yo, I want you to be my DJ." I was like, "Yo, I drop work remix Shaba in the club every night. That shit goes crazy. Let's do this shit, right?" 2 months goes by. He hits me up like, "Yo, you got a passport? We're out to Poland in 2 days." I was like, bet. He's like, come to the studio, we'll work on the routine. Didn't work on the set.
Nice.
Dope.
First night, didn't work on the set. Second night,
Perfect.
Finally, we get to Poland. We're in the hotel room an hour before the set. I'm like, bro, let's go over this set. You know?
Can we plan a little?
Playing a little bit, you know?
Oh, those poor people in Poland. They got a really special show. Let me tell you.
Yo, it was crazy. It was with Redman and Method Man. Yeah, that shit was wild. It was a good time.
Oh, that's dope. And then it worked out. Now you guys have a routine.
Now we got
some
routine,
rhythm.
we got a set, some rhythm. Like we pretty much are on the same page all the time. Great chemistry. And it's weird. Like I'll be back there DJing, and it's like Marty Baller up there and ASAP Ferg, you know. So like seeing like two artists in front of me and me DJing like brings, it's like, and even when Ferg says like he'll be talking about his father who actually passed as well, he'll be like, "I see my daddy in heaven. He'd be the realest G," you know. Just those words. I'm so present. Like every show, I get to like hear that and say that shit, and like it's like a prayer every show, you know. It's like, damn, this is exactly what my pops was doing 20 years ago, 30 years ago.
And what a great person to do it with. Ferg, New York artist, real special.
His dad was in the game too. His dad was a real dude.
Yeah,
man.
both of our fathers like, out their legacies and dynasties cut short. You know, so like we feel like we're on this earth for a reason. Like we gotta keep that shit going on.
That's dope, dude. All right, so if you're going to be in Australia tomorrow or anytime soon, make sure you check out ASAP Ferg on TJ Mizell.
Touring, bro. It's gonna be crazy.